What are you doing, frequencies? Today, we'll be talking about how powerful are thoughts. Think of your mind as a piece of land. Through diligent, planned work, it can be cultivated into a beautiful and productive garden. Or it can be overrun by weeds sprouting from seeds carried by passing birds in the wind. Harvesting the bounty of your mind depends on careful effort and preparation by you, the gardener. All plants, purposes, and achievements are created by a thought. Your thoughts, the only thing over which you have complete control, is you and your thoughts. You can use them wisely or unwisely, but however you do it, your thoughts have power. Applied, accurate thinking is crucial to your desire for success. But you should also recognize that exercising it as a moral duty you owe to every other person in the world. Accurate thinking is based on two types of reasoning. One, induction. This is the act of reasoning from the part to a whole, from the particular to the general, from the individual to the universe. It's based on experience and experimentation and draws conclusions from them. The second type is deduction. In this act of reasoning, specific conclusions are based on general logic and assumptions. These two types of reasoning are very different, but they can work together. To become an accurate thinker, you must take two important steps. 1. Separate facts from opinions, fictions, improved hypotheses, and hearsay. Number 2. Separate facts into two categories, important and unimportant. Everyone except accurate thinkers has an overabundance of opinions, and these are usually worthless. Many of them can be dangerous and destructive, especially when they occur in conjunction with personal initiative. As an accurate thinker, you must scrutinize every bit of information you encounter. You should apply and test information you encounter. If you read a book, for example, you should ask these questions. Is the writer a recognized authority on the subject cover? Did the writer have a motive in writing the book other than imparting accurate information? What is that motive? Does the writer have a profit interest in the subject covered? Is the writer a person of sound judgment or a fanatic? Are there easily accessible resources to check and verify the writer's statements? Do the writer's statements harmonize with common sense and experience? Before you accept anyone's statement or their opinion, you must try to find the motive behind those statements. The motive can be completely honorable, but you must still be careful about accepting the statement of overzealous people who have built a habit of letting their emotions run wild. You must rely upon your own judgment simply because you may not always be aware of who is trying to influence you, and they may not even be aware. If a statement does not seem reasonable or contradicts your experience, set it aside for further examination. Your initial thought habits come from two sources, both of them hereditary. So one is physical hereditary, and that is the nature and character of the generations to precede you have some influence on your thought habits. You may be born with a predominantly rigid or free-floating thinking process, which many sciences now categorize as left or right-brained. The first emphasizes details, the other not so much. Accurate thinking can modify, strengthen, and direct both qualities since everyone possesses each. Even though you may be stronger in one aspect than the other, or you may be stronger on one side versus the other. Social heredity is your environmental influences, education, and experience all through social stimuli. Thinking is most influenced by these things, and that is dangerous because it means that much of your thinking is inspired by others. However, you can take action to control and select these influences, such as reading a book or listening to a podcast or filtering your social media. As an accurate thinker, you will accept no political, religious, or other type of thought regardless of a source unless and until you have carefully analyzed it. Then you will accept it or reject it of your own free will, and its value to you will become much greater. There are two major roadblocks that every human stumbles across when it comes to accurate thinking. One is the habit of believing on the basis of little or no evidence. This is a major human fault. When you are an accurate thinker, you are the master, not the slave of your emotions. You live among other people without giving them the power to control your thinking. The other common weakness in most people's thinking is a tendency to disbelieve anything they don't understand. Because your mind is so subject to the dominating influences in your environment, you must take control over those influences by developing beneficial mental habits. This process is called controlled habits. The process of controlling your habits is miraculous. It translates the power of thought into action. But if your habits are poor or bad, it can bring misery and failure. Your success depends on the strength and quality of your controlled habits. With these changes will come improvements in every aspect of life. So in conclusion, every thought you have comes to fruition. So if you are looking for positive results, it begins with positive thoughts. If you seek negative results, just the same, it begins with negative thoughts. So I challenge you to monitor your thoughts for the remainder of the day and notate the thoughts that are beneficial to you and the thoughts that are working against you, so that you will be able to better regulate the thought currency that's flowing through your mind bank. I love you, and I want you to have a beautiful day. For sure, for sure.